What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I know you guys have been anxiously awaiting for the 387 stroker update of the engine that we're about to build. So today's video, we're going to show you some of the parts that we're going to be putting on the top end. And we're going to head over to the dyno shop, meet up with Dave Dahlke, the mad scientist who's helping me in collaboration with this engine build. And we're going to show you the parts that we're putting in the engine and what parts we chose to put on the top end. So if you enjoy that sort of stuff, stick around, hit that like and subscribe, and let's get over to the shop and get loaded up. So we made it over here to the shop, and I just wanted to reiterate the fact that this is going to be a fun, cheap, budget-minded project that we've been meaning to do for a number of years. So we're not going to kind of reinvent the wheel with buying really high-dollar parts or pushing it to its absolute limits, making it like some sort of supermotor. Matter of fact, what I got sitting back here behind the truck is the top-end parts that we're going to be using. Pretty much because we've already got it. You know what I mean? I got a couple sets of cylinder heads that we're going to decide on what we're going to do over here at the engine shop. A couple sets of old Windsor heads, as you see, juniors right here. Real nice set of cast iron heads. Got multiple sets, but I think they're different valves, so we're going to decide, me and Dave are going to decide on which ones we want to run with. Got a couple sets of, stud mounted rockers. Some of these have guide plates already in them. And again, we got a set of good used 302, 351 roller that came out of an engine that had an N41 camshaft, a brand new timing chain. That the X303 cam has seen better days. So this is not something that we're going to be going with anymore. We are going to decide to go with the Anderson B31 cam we had sitting on the shelf that we had in the 363. So let me get these parts loaded up on the truck. Let's get over to the dyno shop, meet up with Dave, and we'll go over some of the top end stuff, and I'll show you the parts that we're about to start assembling. Alright, so we made it here to Reagan Automotive, where we are going to be offloading the parts. I'm going to go in here and show you. What's up, Scotty B? So let me walk in here and show you what the 351 Windsor looks like. So as you can see here, we got all the main caps and everything. Everything was tanked and washed, and cam bearings in it. We had the deck surfaces decked nice and flat, and everything was washed, cleaned, ready for install. We got some other parts here as well. We got the piston rings, the main bearings, and the rod bearings sitting right here. And like I said, the cam bearings and the freeze plugs are already in the motor, so getting ready for the cylinder heads and machining and balancing and whatever. So let me show you the crank. So this is what we chose to buy, is just the cast steel Eagle crankshaft. And we had talked about this in our previous video. Right here's the part number. It was like 320 bucks. It wasn't super expensive. Here's the crank itself. We got to get this thing balanced. We're going to be balancing it to the rods and pistons that we got sitting over here. But all right, so here I want to show you the pistons. There is the factory Fox body pistons, which are all in really good shape for the most part. And these are the Windsor rods, the factory Windsor rods that were out of that 351 block, which you see there, F2TE. These are called football rods because of the football shaped bolt in it. And that's what's going to make this budget-minded stroker motor really budget and cheap, is the fact that we're taking old forged pistons, we're taking old rods from the Windsor block, obviously machining the block to fit. This is a stock bore, so the factory Fox pistons will fit in there nice and perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and put it all together balanced, because then we got to get it balanced. Which is going to, with having all these different parts in it. Here's something cool that we're going to show you. I'm going to actually stick one of the pistons in and show you the stock piston ring that we're putting in there. So I'm going to pop out one of these piston rings, which this is already out because we had done this before. And we're going to take this piston ring and we're going to stick it here in the bore. Since this is a stock cylinder bore that I just basically honed, this piston ring is just a factory size. As you can see here, 401515, which is the ring sizes for Fox body. We're gonna go ahead and set this in here, and I'm gonna show you the gap on it. So usually we have an oil ring here, but we're gonna go ahead and kind of eye it in a little bit, kind of set it in the bore right there on the ring land. It ain't got to be perfect, it's just got to be kind of level, as you can see here. It's good enough, just to kind of look at it. Now I'm going to take a measurement of that gap and show you how close the drop-in rings were for that. You'll be surprised on how close it was. So let me go get a few of the gauges. All right, so we're going to start with the 24 thousandths because that's what I'm guessing it is. It's definitely 24. Pretty much 24, 25. Kind of cheated and already know. But that's crazy for just being a drop-in ring set from the parts store. That stock bore on a 351. Just shows you how budget you can get. Because I'm pretty sure those plasma moly piston rings were only like 80 bucks or something. So again, this is just a budget-minded, cheap build. And we're gonna have a bunch of fun with it. So this is kind of the first one. We'll probably build more because I do have 3 other 351 blocks that we are taking apart, and we'll see if maybe we can replicate this and maybe a better version. I don't know. Now that I showed you guys the crank and the pistons and the rods and the block, and this is the update, we'll see what Dave thinks about what we're running on the cylinder heads, and then we'll figure that out. Everything is either production or just secondhand, and that's where we're at with this build. The only thing we had to buy was the crank. We'll get Dave out here. He already knows about the camshaft. We'll get his thoughts on what we got sitting right here, and then we'll get things loaded into the machine shop, and we'll tell you where we're at. What'd you say?
I like this. It's junk.
Look, it's rusty. Built from spare junk parts. So what do you think here?
Spare parts. Oh, those look pretty small.
Yeah, those are definitely small. 58. So anyways, we're here with Dave. We're going over the heads, and these are the Windsor heads that we pulled out of the back of that coupe in that, that junk in the trunk video. Obviously you can see they're Windsor Juniors, and obviously they need to be cleaned up, but I'm not worried about the valve train because we're going to be putting new ones in anyways. But we're going to take the best of the 2 sets, and then that's what the ones we're going to use. What about this set?
What is this?
Same thing.
You're even more dirty.
Yeah. Yay.
This has bigger valves.
This one has bigger valves?
This one looks like a bigger chamber, a little bit.
Those the ones we're going to use?
Probably. It's got more rust and shit in it. So
that's fun. I mean, that's good.
It's got one new spark plug. Got spark plug. It's new.
We're saving money already, see? So the question is do we gonna have to, you think we're gonna have to fly cut the pistons? I think they have to anyways. So it's the B31 is the idea now? We go with the B31 cam that we have? Pretty good cam.
You have a B31?
I have a B31. It came out of the 363, made 800 on it, remember? Wanna go with it?
Oh, we're gonna use stock rockers.
No, we're not.
Why not? Oh, we can't because we need those 3/8.
Yes.
No, they're 7/16.
7/16.
What are those? Speedmaster?
I don't know.
Oh, these are comfortable.
Here you go. What about this set? Got all the guide plates in there.
These are ugly.
Yeah, it's about the color of my 408 motor when you first originally painted it.
Hey, there's an idea. I like that. These will match. Yeah, these are kind of bitching right here.
Which ones?
These.
So you want to run with those?
No, we probably should run these because I'm going to run some spring pressure.
Yeah, come on. All right, so we'll run with the comps. We'll put the cheap ones away. So we're pretty much at the end of the video. So we're going to end up using the other set of Windsors here that has
not been ported.
Not been ported or not been messed with. It's got a bigger chamber and a better valve. So we're going to clean these all up and get them onto the motor where we're going to do a piston to valve clearance thing. So maybe push rods are better off. That's why you're carrying all your parts. Danny Watts in the house.
Should be back though.
Okay. Be back. And for this budget-minded build, this is all put together with spare and junk parts that we had laying around. We're gonna do a bunch of machine and cleaning to it. So we're gonna go with the B31 cam that we have at home. It's an Anderson cam. It was in my 363 block, so I know it could make some good power and put it back together. So we're gonna be collaborating with Dave on the 387 build. You're gonna check the clearances, and you're going to check the piston to valve clearance and the oil clearance on the crank. We're gonna assemble the block back at the shop, and we're gonna bring it back over to him when we're ready, and we're gonna put it in one of our cars. But you gotta stick around for that video because we haven't said that yet. All right, YouTube, that's pretty much all I got for you today. Just a quick update on the 387 stroker, the budget-minded engine build we got going here on the channel. Got a chance to see some of the new parts that we got in stock. the bearings, the rings, got a chance to see the engine machined and deck, got a chance to see the camshaft and the cylinder heads that we're going to rebuild for it. Pretty much at the point to where we got a couple items to do and we're going to be assembling the engine. So if you guys enjoy this sort of content, make sure you guys hit that big thumbs up on the way out. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Check out the join button for membership. The channel has its perks. Outside of that, I just appreciate you watching. Stay tuned. See you in the next video.
We'll be right back.